Log into Second Life, then navigate to Build, Upload, Model. A file selection browser opens up. Locate your Kalata file on your file system. Now the Second Life Mesh importer opens, and you see your character in the preview area. When you press the left mouse key and move the mouse, then you can zoom and rotate around the object. And when you also press the Control key, then moving the mouse will change the viewpoint of your camera. In the top left corner of the panel you find a text input field. There, you can see your model name, and if you like to do so, then you also can change the name to something more convenient. Let's turn our attention to the previewer. Here you see your character almost like it was shown in Blender before. This is good news because this means that the previewer has already accepted your mesh. But there is more to do here. Remember that the avatar character comes along with a skeleton. And we need to tell the importer to use it. But here you have to take care of it. The importer is stupid, and we have to tell it twice, that this is a rigged mesh. Once for the previewer, and once again for the uploader. So, for the previewer you can enable the option, Skin Weights. As soon as you do this your mesh jumps into a relaxed stand position. This means that the mesh's skeleton data has been recognized by the importer. Now we have to switch to the Upload Options tab. And there, we have to tell the uploader to include skin weights. When you forget to enable this option here, then your mesh will be imported as a static non-deforming item. And when you wear it, it will not react at all to the skeleton movements. So remember that whenever you upload a rigged character, then you have to enable the inclusion of weights in the Upload Options tab. Okay, now we are ready to go to the final step, so let's press the Calculate Weights and Fee button. After a few seconds you get informed about the upload fee, the land impact, the download costs, the physics costs, and the server costs. We will talk about these numbers in more detail later. But note, sometimes you have to wait for a while until this information pops up. This is because your entire mesh data is transferred to the Second Life servers, and that can take some time. It is depending on the size of your meshes and the quality of your internet connection. But well, now is the moment of verity. Will this mesh upload to Second Life or not? And will it behave as expected? So, are you ready? Then press the Upload button. And when the upload is accomplished, then look into your repository. There you find your mesh and you can wear it now. So we see that the mesh is worn on top of your avatar, but in most cases we want to get the avatar completely out of sight, so how can we achieve that? The answer is, wear an alpha mask. I have created a mask which completely turns the default avatar to invisible. And here we are, the mesh character is now isolated and all is well. It looks correct and it moves along with my movements as expected. We only have one remaining task, that is, we have to texturize the character. And that means we have to get a skin for it. But unfortunately you cannot use the Second Life skin items on your mesh. Instead of that you need to use the basic skin textures. Let's detach the mesh for a moment. And then raise it on ground. Now let's assume that you already have some skin textures at hand, then just take them from your inventory and drag them on top of the mesh. For a quick demonstration I use a modified version of the free available Starlight skin textures from Milla Elliott. I will get back to creating and modifying skins with Blender in a later chapter of this tutorial series. For now, just take a copy of the textured object to your inventory. Then, wear the character again, and all is done. But no, not all is well, there are still a few issues. Let's take a look at the character when it is worn, and compare this to how it looks when it is raised on ground. Actually, they look very different. Let's take a closer look at the textures. You see seams where the body parts match. And finally, take a close look at the face. Do you see face animations? No, you don't. Well, one bitter truth of your Second Life is, mesh characters do not support face animations. However, we do not want to get unhappy right away. Especially because now we are at the point where the fun really starts. So let's stop for a moment, and make a quick review on what we have learned by now. Then proceed to the next tutorial chapter and fix the just mentioned issues. You now have learned how to create a Second Life compatible mesh character. You know how to modify the character shape, by using the integrated shape sliders. You know how to export your mesh as a Gaia file. You have almost mastered the Second Life importer. You know how to make the default avatar invisible. And you know how you can place textures on your character. Well, that should be enough for this tutorial chapter, don't you think so? By now you can go ahead and get crazy with making your own mesh characters. But remind, you have not even scratched the surface of Avastar by now. There is a lot more that you can get from this tool, and I will teach you more about what you can do here in the next tutorial. Have a nice day, and thank you for watching.